Can the very thing that pushes us, our ambition, actually be the thing that destroys us?
It's a powerful question. That initial spark, can it twist?
Exactly. From potential to, total catastrophe. We see it in stories, don't we?
We do. And today we're really digging into one of the most famous examples.
Shakespeare's Macbeth. We're looking at the book Macbeth, dramatic and psychological analysis. It's not just about the plot points, it's about getting under the skin of it, the psychology, the morality collapsing.
Yeah, the breakdown.
And for anyone wanting to explore these kinds of themes further, our YouTube channel, Mindful Moments, uses AI for book analysis. It's really designed to get you thinking critically, reflecting on these big ideas.
That sounds like a great resource for this sort of material.
Our aim here is to pull out what this powerful book tells us about ourselves, about human nature, especially that dangerous line between ambition and doing the right thing.
And right off the bat, the way Shakespeare introduces Macbeth is so important. He isn't some villain from the start.
No, quite the opposite.
He's a hero, celebrated. The book highlights that early praise. Brave Macbeth, well, he deserves that name, establishing him as noble, respected. That's crucial for the whole tragic setup.
Absolutely. He starts as someone admirable, a figure of real valor. That contrast makes his downfall so much more, gut-wrenching, doesn't it?
It does. It forces us, the audience, you listening, to grapple with the idea that even good people, people with promise, can be corrupted.
It hits close to home because it reflects that potential maybe in everyone, the susceptibility.
Precisely. When someone fundamentally decent falls apart, it resonates because we all face those moral choices, big or small. It shows how even a strong moral compass can be pulled off course.
So let's talk about that pivot point. When does this admired hero start down that path? The supernatural element, the witches.
Yeah.
That feels like the first real crack.
It really does. Those prophecies, they deliver Macbeth becoming Thane of Cawdor, then king. And Banquo's descendants ruling later, they act as this primary catalyst.
And the timing is incredible.
Oh, absolutely crucial. The fact that the first part, Thane of Cawdor, happens almost immediately.
King Duncan just gives him the title.
Exactly. And suddenly, the witches don't seem so crazy anymore. It gives this huge credibility to their other predictions. That's the moment those, seeds of ambition really find fertile ground and start to sprout in Macbeth.
It's like a possibility he maybe hadn't dared to voice suddenly seems real, tangible. You hear this wild destiny, and boom, it's partly true.
And it's got this powerful pull.
Which throws us straight into that classic debate, fate versus free will. How much is Macbeth just playing out a script, and how much is he choosing this? Are the witches just lighting a fire that was already there, waiting for fuel?
That tension is right at the heart of why the book is still so compelling. Are his actions inevitable, preordained? Or are they his choices, step by step, driven by the ambition the prophecies ignited? Shakespeare is quite clever. He doesn't give us an easy answer.
No, he leaves it murky. You have to wrestle with it.
It makes you consider how much external suggestion versus internal desire shapes what we do.
And then there's Lady Macbeth. Wow, what a character. Their relationship is so intense, so pivotal. She seems to be the one really pushing for Duncan's murder, at least initially.
Yes, her role is fascinating, especially when you contrast their initial reactions. She hears the news, hears Duncan is coming to stay.
And she's immediately plotting, almost terrifyingly practical about it.
While Macbeth is, he's hesitant, he's wrestling with his conscience. You see that huge internal conflict, and that's where her influence, her manipulation really comes into play.
Her methods are pretty brutal, aren't they? Going right for his sense of identity.
Oh, yeah. Questioning his courage, his manhood, saying he's not brave enough to seize what he wants.
In that historical context, that's a massive blow, a direct challenge.
She knew exactly what she was doing. She understood the psychology, the societal pressures on men at the time, and she used it ruthlessly. But what makes her character arc so compelling, so tragic in its own way, is what happens to her later.
Right, that initial confidence.
That chilling line, "A little water clears us of this deed," almost a denial of the act's weight.
And then you see her later. Sleepwalking, lost in guilt.
Completely consumed by it, trying to wash imaginary blood off her hands. It's such a powerful, realistic portrayal of how moral transgression eats away at you from the inside.
The facade just crumbles. All that control she projected is gone, replaced by this deep internal torment. It's quite profound.
It's an incredible insight into the psychological toll, her breakdown, her eventual suicide. It shows the immense weight of their actions. But even before the act, Macbeth himself isn't naive about it.
No, he knows.
He absolutely knows, that famous soliloquy. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
That line just cuts right to it, doesn't it? He admits it. There's no good reason, no grievance, just ambition. Pure, naked ambition.
He sees it's a dangerous leap, likely to end badly, but he does it anyway.
And that self-awareness makes it even more tragic. He's not stumbling into this blindly. He's choosing the darkness.
Exactly. His slide into tyranny isn't impulsive, it's a sequence of choices. First driven by ambition, then by fear and the need to cover his tracks, leading to more and more violence, and Shakespeare uses the other characters brilliantly to throw Macbeth's choices into sharper relief.
Like Banquo, he got prophecies too. Similar deal.
Very similar, but his response is totally different. He's tempted, you can see that, but he prioritizes his integrity, his loyalty, even when it costs him his life.
He acts as a sort of moral benchmark, doesn't he? Showing the path Macbeth could have taken.
A crucial moral counterpoint. He represents resisting that lure of power. Then you have Macduff.
Ah, Macduff. He becomes the embodiment of righteous vengeance.
Yes, especially after Macbeth has his family slaughtered. That turns Macduff into this force of justice, almost an instrument of, you could say, divine retribution aimed squarely at Macbeth.
He carries the weight of Macbeth's crimes personally, and Malcolm, Duncan's son.
Malcolm represents the restoration of order, legitimate rule returning after the chaos and tyranny. He's the future, the healing the kingdom needs. These characters aren't just plot devices, they highlight the specific nature of Macbeth's evil by contrast.
So, tying these characters to the big themes, ambition is obviously central, but the book seems to say it's not ambition itself that's evil, right? It's when it goes unchecked.
Precisely. It becomes corrupting when it pushes aside morality, loyalty, basic human decency. For Macbeth, it spirals into this consuming obsession that destroys everything, including himself.
And that theme of appearance versus reality, it's everywhere. Starts right with the witches.
Fair is foul and foul is fair. That sets the tone for the whole play. Everything gets inverted.
Macbeth pretends to be loyal while plotting murder.
Lady Macbeth seems strong, but is tormented inside. Even nature seems upside down, like Birnam Wood appearing to move.
It creates this unsettling feeling that you can't trust anything you see in this corrupted world.
Nothing is quite what it seems. And the supernatural stuff, the witches, Banquo's ghost, the Jagger, they're more than just spooky effects, aren't they?
They seem deeply connected to the psychology.
Yes. They act as external temptations, sure, but they also reflect internal states. Banquo's ghost appearing at the banquet is Macbeth's guilt made visible, right? Tangible only to him.
Like the floating dagger before he kills Duncan. Is it real? Or is it his mind projecting his bloody intentions?
It works on both levels. It's a manifestation of his inner turmoil, his resolve hardening towards violence. And speaking of violence, the book charts its progression starkly.
It starts with Macbeth being praised for violence on the battlefield. Noble violence.
But it quickly descends. Duncan's murder is treacherous, cowardly. Then comes Banquo's murder, the slaughter of Macduff's family. It escalates.
Becoming more and more brutal, less and less justifiable even by Macbeth's warped logic.
It's a cycle. Each violent act requires another to secure his position, creating this chain reaction of bloodshed that ultimately engulfs him. It's a powerful statement on how violence begets violence. And beneath all this action, there's a complex thematic structure, a symbolic layer that really deepens the meaning.
It's definitely more than just a thriller. It's layered. And it was clearly saying something about politics, too, about kingship.
Oh, absolutely. Duncan represents the ideal king, seen as divinely sanctioned, ruling justly. His murder isn't just killing a man, it's attacking the whole natural and political order. It's a violation of harmony.
And Macbeth's rule shows what happens when power is illegitimate.
Exactly. His tyranny breeds fear, rebellion, chaos. It shows that power seized wrongly is inherently unstable. And the restoration of Malcolm signifies a return to that moral, natural order. The book also touches on gender roles, too, through Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, which is fascinating for its time.
So, underlying the whole story, there's a very clear sense of right and wrong. The moral lines are quite distinct.
They are. Duncan's murder is presented unequivocally as a violation of multiple codes: loyalty, hospitality, divine order. And the book really emphasizes conscience.
It doesn't just go away, even when they try to suppress it.
No. Macbeth sees ghosts and daggers. Lady Macbeth sleepwalks, tormented by guilt. It shows that internal moral compass, that sense of right and wrong, persists. It finds a way out.
Justice eventually prevails.
through human action, Macduff, Malcolm McCallis, but there's also perhaps a sense of a larger, maybe divine justice at work in how things unfold. Shakespeare's insight into the psychological fallout of doing wrong for both Macbeth and Lady Macbeth is just remarkable, still feels true today.
It really does. Macbeth's story is such a powerful, timeless warning, isn't it? How unchecked ambition can hollow out even someone noble, leading to utter ruin. The book forces you to think about morality, guilt, the lure of power. It's all in there.
Still incredibly relevant.
And as you think about these complex ideas, remember you can explore similar themes on our YouTube channel, Mindful Moments, and through our podcasts. They offer ways to dig deeper into the psychology and themes in literature.
Good resources for continued reflection.
So here's something to chew on. How do you see these themes from Macbeth, ambition, power, morality, playing out today in leadership in our own lives? That struggle between good and evil seems, well, perennial.
It really makes you consider, doesn't it? Where do you see that corrupting influence of ambition around you now?
If this discussion got you thinking, please subscribe and share it. Help others find it. There's a link in the show notes if you'd like to purchase the book we analyzed today. And most importantly, keep thinking critically. Keep questioning the stories that shape how we see the world.